I am going to put on some Defiance over my beach house. It'll match if you can see my beautiful, I think it matches perfectly. So Defiance, this is why I have my little mantras on my lip glosses, lipsticks, what have you. Hey ladies, welcome back to my channel. So I think this is a topic that we need to discuss. Are you ready? Let's get this beauty started. All right, ladies, this has been on my mind for a very long time. Actually, really, I can pinpoint it to 2019. I think that we really need to discuss this. I really feel that I can change the world when it comes to beauty, and I'm never going to lose that focus. Now, is it unrealistic? Possibly, maybe, but I want to live in my little beauty bubble world and think that I can really change the lives of women because I have seen that in my treatment room. This is the reason why I became an esthetician. It's the reason why I became a makeup artist, because I can emotionally and physically change how someone feels. And I love that. So this really goes back to my early days in grade school when I wanted to be a cardiologist. I had like a little heart. I did this science project and I had this heart that it was like my little heart model. I did this whole thing. And so I really thought I was going to become a doctor. And then I wanted to become an ER nurse. So I've always wanted to be in medicine. And I think I have a different perspective on this topic. The topic is about shaming women for plastic surgery. I'm really getting tired of seeing it on my channel in the comments when we're not even talking about plastic surgery or anything like it. So I come from a space of wanting to be a nurse. I wanted to be an ER nurse and I wanted to be with Project Smile. And I wanted to be with Doctors Without Borders. And I was always trying to figure out as an esthetician how I could get in and be able to travel with them and to change the lives of people. It's plastic surgery, right? It's cosmetic surgery. It's doing it because somebody has an issue. And the issue could always be that you didn't like something about yourself or you wanted to enhance something or change something or what have you. I am not talking about Instagram and body dysmorphia and overdoing it. And I'm not going to the extreme. I'm talking about the average person that wants to feel better about themselves, man or woman. Why is all this shame coming? So I have asked so many women at dinner parties, at cocktail parties, I'm always asking. And then I'm just getting the same kind of answer where they are like, oh, they're jealous or they can't afford it, what have you. And I'm like, okay, but is that really it? Or does it go deeper? Can it really just be you're jealous? I'm so tired of hearing jealousy. Okay, great. Like we can work on that. They don't have the money. Okay, fine. You can work on that. You can get the money. Does it run deeper than that? Where is this coming from? Because in 2019, I had Carol on my Fierce Aging series. Such a wonderful series featuring women over 50, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, sharing their beauty with you, my audience, with the world. They come on my channel with no makeup on. I have never met them before. I do a little interview. I get to know them. They share their beauty journey. They share their insecurities. They share everything about themselves. And it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Real women, real problems, wrinkles, pigmentation, whatever it is. And so I had this woman come in, Carol from Northern Florida. She drove all the way down with her husband, hours and hours and hours in the car to come to see me to have me do her makeup. And she was so beautiful, so wonderful. And she had said to me while I was gathering all my makeup, I'm always putting things together because I haven't seen them in real life. So I want to see what colors, what have you. My husband was working the camera and she said, just want to make sure you know, I had emailed and said that some parts of me were 73, but not all. And I was like, what? What does that mean? And I said, oh, I really didn't know what that meant. So I just glossed over it. And she's like, well, I had a facelift, and I said, Carol, please, like, that's wonderful. Like, are you happy? She's like, oh, yes, I'm so happy, whatever. And my husband and I were like, that's amazing. I was like, I don't need to mention it because it's not part of my video. Like my video is about makeup and how you're feeling and, your whole journey with, just you. I knew I needed to monitor the comments always when I have a guest on. I'm very protective when a woman will come on my channel and really share herself. I can take the beating. I don't really think it's fair for a guest too. I missed this one comment and Carol had responded to it and I found it today because I wanted to read it to you. I really felt terrible that my guest had to defend herself, right? Amongst women when she's sharing her beauty a raw beauty, being, no makeup and what have you. So she said, ladies, only parts of me are 73. No magical products, not great genes. I did have a facelift when I was 66 because I worked until I was 70. I just felt more confident in the workplace, especially since I work with younger women. Not apologizing, just my personal reasons for doing it. And thank you for all the positive comments. Nikol was wonderful and is my hero. So I wrote back and said, Carol, you are amazing. The woman making comments about quote unquote work done is embarrassing to me. There are no beauty rules. And if you feel like getting a facelift, breast augmentation, Botox, filler, and that's what you do. If you feel it's right for you, then that's the only person that matters. And you don't need to explain yourself to anyone. I think you are so special and have such a kind heart. It was a pleasure meeting you and your husband. I love spending time with you and creating your look. Keep doing you. You are fierce, bold, and unapologetic. So that's really what spurred this whole thing for me, where I've been just thinking about it. I've been kind of laying low. I didn't really want to bring it up because everybody has such a dramatic opinion about plastic surgery. For me, on an aesthetic side, I look at plastic surgeons, ocular surgeons, dermatologists, cosmetic dermatologists, because I've worked with them. I've literally worked as a clinical esthetician in doctors' offices. I think it's amazing. I think that being able to restructure the face and resculpt things and to really help somebody that has a problem, whatever that is, whatever it is. I just think it's really a talent. And I think we're so fortunate to have these specialists that can be able to do this. So for me, I think that I'm just on a different mentality. I think it's just a strange topic for me. So I sat there and then I decided to Google, like, what's this shaming women about plastic surgery? And it's a real thing. I couldn't believe it. Like, there's articles written about it. It just goes on. And there was an article in Elle magazine back in 2015, 2016 that I'm going to be pulling a lot of information from. So you can just have a little bit more knowledge. So the article was called Why We Shame Women for Plastic Surgery and Why It's Important We Stop. The article is written by Alyssa Strauss, and she addressed this subject in a very thought-provoking, positive manner. And I had wanted to really understand how many plastic surgery procedures were done in 2021. That was the latest data I could get. So we had 1.4 million surgeries and non-surgical procedures done. This was 40% more than 2020. So it's about 600 more procedures that were done, this article said. And I thought, not this article, I found the data from another site, but I found that to be very interesting. And I wanted to kind of go through a couple pointers that she had said about plastic surgery. It's personal. So she goes on in this article and says, each person undergoing these procedures has their own unique reasons for doing so, whether it's a flaw that has bothered someone since childhood or unwelcome changes caused by the natural progression of time. These patients do have at least one thing in common, the desire to change or improve something that bothered them, which is a decision only they could make for themselves. So for instance, I had that, whatever it was, in my orbital socket here since I was 12. It grew rapidly, doubled in size when I went through IVF because of all the progesterone. So I had my plastic surgeon take it out. She was the only one that would take it out. I tried for 10 years, 9 different surgeons, all different types, masco, ocular, plastic. No one would take it out. I did MRIs, the whole thing. I have it on YouTube. I'll link the video here. It explains it more. That was life-changing for me to get it out. Was it aesthetic? Yes. Was it mandatory? I mean, you could say yes, because we didn't know what it was until we biopsied it. But the point is that was a decision I made for myself. It was so life-changing not to have a big, heavy bump that was protruding out of my eye. So for me, it was very important to have someone tell me that is vanity and I shouldn't have done it. It's like, but why would that matter? Same thing falls into, if a woman gets a breast augmentation, it's frowned upon, it's looked at differently than if a woman has a breast reduction. Oh, she did it because she has back problems. She did it. No, it's really the same thing, right? It's not mandatory. She can't fit into certain clothes. Yeah, she probably has back problems. It's probably this and that, but is it life or death? No. So it's like a really weird topic. Like, that's not okay, but that's okay to do, but you can't do this, you can't do that. And so when I was going through this article here, it went into another little topic that it says, society has a fixation on the why of plastic surgery, with people seeming to forget it is simply about feeling better about oneself. In truth, the typical cosmetic surgery patient is not a rich and famous celebrity, but rather your next door neighbor. Normal men and women hoping to get through life feeling comfortable and confident. Then it goes on to say, when you shame a woman or anyone for making a decision about her own body, you are essentially telling her that her thoughts, emotions, and opinions about herself are invalid or superficial. So that brings me to my last comment. When I just did the Carmen Della Fice feature about being 91, she's almost 92. It was talking about how she moisturizes her body. These are the tips that she said. She has a morning routine. She did this lemon and water. She exercises. It was not about plastic surgery. And honestly, for a woman that's 91, that's been in the modeling industry for probably 80 years, to think that she hasn't done anything with the pressure of the modeling industry, basically everything that she does is based on what she looks like, is just kind of silly to think that she hasn't done anything. I had read that she had done silicone injections, or she does, for her cheeks. Okay. I was like, that's great. But my video was about these other things that she had mentioned. It wasn't about, hey, look how tight her skin is naturally. It never, or how full and plump her cheeks are. It never said anything like that. It was totally off the subject of anything like that. And someone wrote a comment about, yeah, but she does silicone injections. To me, I was like, well, yeah, but who cares? Like, it's not what we were talking about. And then the person went down and said, so she's not really valid, or something about validation. She used that word. And so I said something, and then the person got mad, and then I just took the comment off, because this is not a debate. The point is that you missed what the video was about. It wasn't about silicone injections, whether she does them or not. Just as relative to that video. I wanted to just bring this up to just let you know that women that are doing the things that they're doing, you might not agree with, but I do feel that you don't have the position to write anywhere, in a letter, in an email, on social media, and tell a woman how that's wrong, or, you're cheating, or you're not being authentic, or what have you. That's not true. At least that, in my opinion, plastic surgery is really a gift, no matter what way you look at it, no matter what way that you want to slice it, pardon the pun. There are reasons why people will do what they do, and that's personal to them. And there's a story. And it reminds me too of going gray. You get a lot of shame for gray. You let yourself go. You look ugly. You look old. I could go on and on and on about the comments that I get about going gray. It's my personal choice. You're not wearing the hair. Who cares? Why does it bother you? Why is it so bothersome that you literally sit there and think, I'm going to write this? It's going to make me feel good. I'm going to make her feel bad. Because when I ran into a woman at Victoria's Secret in the checkout line years ago, I looked at her. She was in probably about 4 or 5 months into her gray hair journey. And I sat there and I looked at it and I thought, it's really interesting. I wonder how she's feeling right now. She's probably feeling like, a little uncomfortable, a little, unsure of herself. And she turned around and she said, oh, I'm growing my hair to be like yours, or whatever. Her story was that her mother just recently passed away, and her mother had beautiful silver hair, and she wanted to honor her mother. So she decided to grow her hair out. So that's her story. That's what's close to her heart and why she's doing it. And then you got people saying, well, you look like you're letting yourself go. You look ugly. You look old, whatever. Her story is she's honoring her mother. It's her personal choice to go gray. I personally think it looks beautiful. Every stage of gray hair looks beautiful to me. Black and white, ombre, one streak, all hot and messy. It looks beautiful. So I feel like the acceptance needs to be there. And at least if I can't change the world in the perspective of allowing women to do what they want to do with their face, with their skin, with their hair color, what have you, at least in my little bubble of my beauty world on my channel here, I can control that, because I don't want to have negativity in my comment section, which I know it's unrealistic to think it wouldn't happen, but I can control that, because I don't want anybody feeling bad about themselves that comes on my channel that has had things done because they wanted to. They look amazing. They look beautiful. They radiate their confidence. I mean, it's changed their world. It's such a beautiful thing. And that's my opinion. That's how I feel about it. You do you. You do whatever hair color you want. You do whatever surgeries that you feel are what is in your life path, and you own it. And you enjoy it, and it makes you live your best life. That's what the channel is all about. So I felt like it's like a little PSA about, if you're going to start writing anything about a topic we're not talking about and start ripping women apart, whoever I show on my channel, it will be deleted, because it's just not productive. And life is very short. It's a very short capsule, little life that we move through And I want it to be the best. I want it to radiate the most light I can and be a resource of allowing women to allow their beauty to take different forms and shapes as the decades go on. That's what I really wish for. And I really wanted you to know my position on plastic surgery, because I just feel that it's a gift. It's to be respected in whatever category you are in. And it's not to be taken lightly. It's not something you just decide, oh, I'm going to do that, or, oh, I'm not going to research that, or I'm going to do that. It's a very heavy topic, and it takes a lot of thought and a lot of research to decide upon those things for you, if they're all right for you. But the shaming won't happen here on my channel, ever. And moving forward, I feel so much better that I'm able to discuss this and talk about it, because it's bothered me ever since Carol's video about trying to take away her light that she was really offering us. And that will never happen to any of my guests that are coming on, and I'm gearing up for my Fierce Aging. It's going to be spectacular. I decided I'm not even waiting for the set to be finished. I am doing my office so I can start filming in my office. I'm just waiting for my rose bowl to come. Don't you worry, ladies. It's going to have this beautiful vibe. And by the way, it probably will smell like roses too. I'll probably pump in some scent, some rose scent, to just add to the beautiful feeling and what have you. And you can live in my little beauty bubble with me, and you are accepted, whether you do plastic surgery, whether you don't, whether you color your hair, you don't color your hair. It is come as you are. And I'm very, very proud of that. So ladies, until my next video, I'll see you later.